Hi everyone, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Anna, and you're listening to We Judge a Show by Its Pilot, a podcast hosted by us, a married couple with an endless love for TV.
Whether you're looking for a new show to binge or wanting to revisit an old classic, let us be your guide through the infinite list of TV shows.
So come join us every Friday as we discuss the pilot for a TV show while also sharing personal stories that parallel the storylines.
We Judge a Show by Its Pilot, where your new favorite show is just one click away. Hello everyone, welcome back to our pod.
Hello. Happy November.
Happy November. Yeah, we are
recording an October show in November.
Yeah, that's going to come out tomorrow. So crazy month, continuation. Hopefully things are going to slow down a little bit and we can get ahead of these episodes. But yeah, we're recording tonight, the day before, what's tomorrow? November 4th. Yeah, so like I said, there's a part of me that prefers doing it this way, doing it right before and then editing it. I feel like I put more TLC into it. I don't know. There's something about being under the gun that makes me work harder.
Always.
I think that's just how I work. Yeah. But yeah, we are finishing out, even though Jeff month is technically over. We are going to just finish this one. I think if I hadn't picked this show, I would have been a little bit more like, let's just skip the week. Let's just go right into our November shows. But because originally I had Big Brother. I had Big Brother on to be the final one, and that was going to represent like my COVID show, pandemic show. But I decided that the most important time of my life was the year, the era where my life changed, and that's when I met you. And you came over, we had just met, we had not known each other for very long, and you came over to my house. It was right before, I think we watched this did we watch this on New Year's Eve?
This was New Year's Eve, so I had known you about 6 months.
So at this point, okay, I was getting this in Free Agents. We watched Free Agents all night.
Yes, we watched Challenge when we first met.
Yeah, we watched Free Agents for like 4 or 5 hours, and then you went and got on a plane and went wherever you went. So this was New Year's Eve. This was our first New Year's Eve together, which New Year's Eve has become a very special time of year. It's our December 30th is our wedding anniversary. New Year's Eve was our first we had gone out at this point a few times. We had hung out a bunch of times. We had, like you said, we'd known each other for 6 months at this point in time. But this was kind of the first time where I felt like this was like the beginning of us being a couple.
Well, this was like the first time I will say I really felt like you purposefully asked me to come over.
Yeah.
Not that you didn't purposefully ask me to come over before. I didn't just show up at your apartment. But like, I kind of always feel like New Year's Eve is a very couple-ish holiday. Like, you are always starting the new year with maybe someone you love or like, or it's a couples kind of thing. And we weren't going anywhere. We were just hanging at your apartment. Actually, we did go somewhere. We went to eat.
It was pouring down, raining,
storming, but I had like free buffet at Le Berge Casino, so we went and did that and then came home, and we probably just should have ordered a pizza. But anyway, I felt like this was, you really specifically asked me, what was I doing on New Year's, and did you want to hang out that night together?
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like, wow, like, oh, like New Year's is to me a very couple-ish kind of holiday. And so we watched this. I think I knew about it, but I don't think I had ever watched it.
So today we are doing quite possibly one of the old, back in the day I used to watch a lot of dating reality shows. I think that was just what was on at the time, like Flavor of Love and Rock of Love and all of those of loves. But this one, I started watching Are You the One? So today we're doing Are You the One?
Yes.
I started watching Are You the One because of the challenge. So when eventually when Road Rules stopped and when Real World was starting to kind of dwindle, that was when they started bringing in people from other shows to be on the challenge. And the first show that first there was Fresh Meat, which we did earlier this month, and then there was this kind of surge of let's bring in people from other, I think originally it was just from other MTV shows. Yes. And the main one was Are You the One? They brought in They brought in Devin and Cheyenne, Amanda and Nelson, and
Nelly.
I think another couple that like I don't remember because it was rivals, so I don't fully remember, or exes or one of those, and Adam and Brittany. Oh, there it is. It was exes too.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what Are You the One was. I liked the people that they brought in from Are You the One on the challenge. So I'm like, what is this show? And I kind of watched it by myself. I think I just watched season 3, which is the season that we're talking about today. Just to let you know, pretty much every season of Are You the One is the same. It's not like they each are special in their own way when it comes to like the cast and the drama that specifically happened. But the basis of the format is the same on every season, so I just decided to pick my favorite season rather than just pick the first season because each first episode is a pilot when it comes to reality shows like this because it's a new cast, it's a new location, stuff like that. I started watching it and I was so fascinated by it. I was just like, this is unlike anything I'd never seen a dating show like this before. I loved the idea of like an algorithm and a matchmaking process and this idea of a perfect match. This idea that there is this person out there that on paper is perfect for you. Now, if they're perfect on paper, does that necessarily mean that they are perfect for you in practice? I guess that's the only other term.
Physical form.
Yeah, in physical. I couldn't think of like a term to properly say that, but
in true life,
right? IRL.
There you go.
So I think that's what made it so fascinating to me because there are people that were perfect matches on the show that hated each other because of some bad first impression or something that happened on one of their dates, and there was a pair that was brought onto Rivals 3, and the girl was like, I do not know what matchmaker thought this person was my perfect match because we hate each other. We're on Rivals together. So it's just kind of like that's what the whole basis of Rivals is.
Right.
For the challenge, sorry. If you don't know what that is, it's a challenge season where people that hate each other are partnered up and they have to compete for money like you do
together.
on the challenge together. It's great. If you've never seen a Rivals season of the challenge, go watch it. It is so awesome. Anyway, so when we met, I believe Rivals 3 was airing at the time, and that had Devin and Cheyenne, Hunter and Nelson, and maybe someone else. Brandon and Brianna. There were like a ton of people from Are You the One, and somehow it got brought up that you had never watched it, and then you were like, well, what kind of dating show is it? And I remember not being able to being like, oh yeah, it's so simple, and I like started to try and explain it to you, and I'm like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Like I was like, wait, let me start over, and I'm like, this is a really hard show to explain.
I totally remember you were like, you have to match, and then they pick, and then
and then I'm like, oh yeah, and the truth booths, and I kept like forgetting stuff, and you were like, so how do they know if they're a match? They don't know if they're a match. So then how do they know if there's a beam? They don't know which beam is theirs. You just like kept asking me questions. I'm like, just come over, let's watch it.
Yeah.
I think it was on Hulu at the time because I didn't have Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus didn't exist then. I think it was CBS All Access at that point, and which I didn't have. And I think it was on Hulu. Or maybe I had torrented it. Maybe I'll have to bleep that out. But yeah, so we watched season 3, and I think it was like 5 minutes into the first episode, you were like, oh, I get it. You were just like, this is very simple. So I did my absolute best to describe the format. You're going to be reading it.
Okay.
If there is some confusion, or if you feel like you, in front of me, Anna, feel like that that you feel like that this isn't a good enough explanation, hopefully it'll be better explained in the plot summary.
Okay.
So let's just go ahead and get into some episode and series information.
All right. Are You the One? Once in a lifetime chance brings romance.
Chance with a C.
Chance with a C. Are You the One was an American reality dating competition series that originally aired on MTV from January 21st, 2014 to September 9th, 2019 for 8 seasons and a total of 88 episodes. The 9th and final season premiered on Paramount Plus on January 18th, 2023 and concluded on March 15th, 2023.
R.I.P. MTV.
Yeah, bye. Are You the One took a group of men and women that were all secretly paired up via a matchmaking algorithm. The ultimate goal was to find your perfect match, and if the cast was successful, then they'd split a prize pot of up to $1 million.
So $50K each.
Right, but there were contingencies along the way, which we'll
get
talk
there.
about. Each week, the cast will compete to go on dates, and of those couples, the rest of the house will vote one of those couples to go into the truth booth. The truth booth is the only way to confirm if someone is a perfect match. The cast will only get one opportunity each week to send a couple into the truth booth. A confirmed match means that the said couple will leave the competition and spend the rest of their stay in one of the honeymoon suites. And then the rest of the cast is that much closer to finding their perfect match. After each truth booth, the cast gets together for a weekly matching ceremony, and each week they will rotate between the guys and the girls picking who they want to come up to pair up with them. And they will each individually choose who they believe is their perfect match. When everyone is matched up, a set of spotlights will appear, or beams as they are called. You're my perfect beam.
You're my beam. We still say that to each other after all this time.
Each representing a couple. When a beam lights up, that means that there is a match among the couples who are matched up.
Yes.
But you don't know which one.
Exactly.
And if someone will choose correctly, but no one knows which couple it is. If no beams light up, that is a blackout. And no one picked their correct match during the selection process.
So in an essence, a blackout is like 10 truth booths.
Correct, because that means you were not with your match. Yeah. So
there is a strategy to blackouts, which I will get when we get into the plot summary.
And even though the cast is told to follow their hearts, it eventually becomes a game of statistics and process of elimination. With the exception of season 5, each season the cast eventually got all 10 beams, usually at the final matching ceremony. Season 1 and season 9 are the only ones to get all 10 beams before that final ceremony.
They got it the second to last. They didn't get it like the third try.
Right, because then the show would have been over.
Right, it's like their second to last.
Or they would have run out of honeymoon suites.
Yeah.
Seasons 1, 3, 4, 7, and 8 took place in Hawaii. Season 2 took place in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Season 5 was in the Dominican Republic. Season 6 was nearby in New Orleans.
It was so random when that was announced.
Where are they? In Covington and Mandeville.
And who was Terrence J was wearing a shirt that you were like, you're in New Orleans and you're wearing this shirt. I forgot what it was.
Oh, I thought it was like a Falcon shirt or something. And people were like, no. And anyway. And season 9 was filmed in Spain. Ryan Devlin was the host for seasons 1 through 5. He was my favorite.
Oh, he was the best.
Terrence J hosted season 6 through 8, and Kami Crawford hosted season 9.
I also
she
liked
was
her.
From Catfish, right?
Yeah, I liked her.
You can currently watch select seasons of Are You the One on Paramount Plus and Hulu.
So I think the season we're talking about today, season 3, isn't on any of the streaming apps, but so before everything was available, so now everything's available on one of these streaming sites, whether it's Paramount Plus or Netflix or Hulu. Back 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, it wasn't exactly like that. So what you had to do is you had to buy these seasons on Amazon Prime. And that's what I did because I just had I had just gotten a big collection of Amazon credit, and I was just buying seasons of shows, buying movies. I have so much purchased on my Amazon account now, and it's just, I'll go back and be like, oh yeah, I got season 8 of Are You the One? That was the whole gender fluid cast, which is another one of my favorite seasons.
That was one of my favorite seasons. It was great.
Danny and Kai. Oh, that was such a great season. Yeah. So we're doing season 3, which introduced Devin, Cheyenne, Amanda, Hunter, Nelson, Brittany, maybe some more, but if you watch the challenge, you know those names.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about the show and why it's special to us. Is there something about the show that like got you kind of hooked into it other than like the challenge connection?
Yeah, I wasn't watching it because of the challenge.
Yeah.
I will be honest, I don't think I ever really remembered that connection until I started watching Are You the One? I just probably thought that the newbies from the challenge were like just newbies to the challenge.
Right.
I didn't really get that they were from another MTV show.
Gotcha.
But I think I was intrigued because I used to quite religiously watch The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. I mean, I've watched dating shows all throughout my life. I mean, you're talking about The Dating Game, Who Wants to Marry a Multimillionaire, Joe Millionaire. I mean, like all of those kinds of shows. I liked this because of the whole concept that you were matched with someone before you even got there. And I think I was always intrigued season by season of the first night when they would be like, oh, they're hot, they've got to be my match.
Right.
Like right off the bat. And I'm like, okay, see, that's not really the point of the game.
Right.
Because I really think back, and I might have talked about this on the pod back in the day if we talked about like Valentine's or high school, that one year, and I think it was during my sophomore year in high school, that we did a matchmaking like survey. Like one of the student organizations in my high school was doing this for like a fundraiser, and then you had to pay like $5 to get your results. And I just remember everyone was doing it, and you ended up getting your list, and you were like, I don't know him, and I don't know that person, or ooh, I know that person, gross, I'm matched with that, so it was always really funny that way, because you were just like, I wonder why I matched with them. So I think this show brought that experience of mine into reality. I mean, obviously, I think I got my list and I never talked to any of those guys. I don't know whose list I was on, if I was on their list or other guys' list, who knows? But I think that core memory of mine was awakened during this show.
Okay.
And I was just like, I mean, and then half the time, I also feel like when you're taking a paper survey or answering questions, you're lying half the time.
It's still a version of, so a lot of people say like on your first date or when you first start dating someone, they get like the highlight reel version of you. And I feel like that's like just another form of the highlight reel. This is like, oh, well, what would be well, okay, I have my real answer, but what would be a better answer? And like, I think that's like the idea,
right? Like,
what would make me more appealing, or what would cast a wider net?
Well, if you could be of any profession, would you be a teacher, a doctor, a rocket scientist, or blah 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 blah, whatever it is? And you're like, okay, I don't want to say teacher because they're poor. I'm going to say like engineer or whatever. Again, I always feel like on surveys like that, you're always like, especially if you know you're going on to a dating show, you're wanting to make yourself look really good and sexy and desirable. So are these answers real? Because even in the end, you were like, oh my God, they got matched up? Like, how was that possible?
Yeah, it's really funny. I think this show has produced, out of 9 seasons and I guess 10 couples each season, this show has spawned a total of like 2 marriages.
Right.
I think so. I mean, it's not like, and I think it was the first official Truth Booth match on season 1. They're married, they have kids, they're still together. And then the other couple, I want to say Clinton and Uche got married. I think that was the New Orleans season.
Oh, okay.
And they weren't a match. And so it was like, but they're married. I think, don't quote me on that, I should have researched it before we started recording, but it just popped in my head.
Okay.
I think I was in the same boat as you. I was just very fascinated with, because when you're watching it, I mean, this isn't a show where you can look up spoilers. It's not like The Challenge or Amazing Race where you can go on Vivmo and find spoilers for it. Like when you were watching Are You the One, like you did not know who was matched up with who, and there was this one specific website that that knew the algorithm and knew like however it was, and after each matchup ceremony the percentage likelihood that was their match. Like,
yeah, that's what they were trying to do.
And I remember on the gender fluid season 8, they had like by somehow process of elimination by week 3 they had a confirmed match like on the website, and then coincidentally it was the only season where they told you that these people were a confirmed match despite not going into the truth booth. So I wondered if it was like that was the only time they were like, okay, well, we can't deny this one. Like, they can just go on a website and see that they're a confirmed match. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I was just very fascinated with that idea, and also like the whole idea of there's a big thing that Ryan would say, and I'm sure Terrence and Kami said it too, but there's a thing that they always say, like, follow your heart, which is another thing that they say. But it's another thing that they often say is it's not what you want, it's what you need, which is what people always say when you're looking in a relationship or when you're trying to find your person. They always say it's not what you want, it's what you need. So let's pretend we're single for a second.
Okay.
I know. This is a scenario like my boo likes to do.
Hypothetical.
As unbiasedly as you possibly can, maybe we could say it about each other, maybe you could say it about yourself. What do you think the matchmakers would think that you need in a relationship? Not what you want, what you need in a relationship.
And let's do it back and forth and see what each other says about the other. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I would say a matchmaker would have said I needed someone who probably wasn't as serious as I was, truthfully. I mean, I definitely admit I'm pretty rigid on things. I try to be pretty financially sound. I am very set in my ways. And that was difficult because you and I met when I was around 46, 47 years old. So I had been single for so long and very self-sufficient for, since my 20s. So I think it would have been very hard. It was very hard for me to open up. And that was another thing, would be to be more open, because I was always very guarded dating guys, because I had a lot of trust issues. Guys had always tended to cheat on me or to always blame me for when relationships didn't go right. So I think it was a lot of to be more open and to like try to open up to another person.
Yeah.
As for what I think you needed, I think, I will say, I think you needed someone to also help ground you.
Yeah.
I think you had been living your best bachelor life, and I don't want to say like you needed someone to help you grow up. That wasn't it. I mean, you had been on your own before. You were a dad. You had moved, not across the country, but 4 states away. So you had lived life, but I think you were back to being very comfortable being a bachelor.
Yeah.
And I think you getting into a relationship also helped you grow. And so I think that was maybe what you needed to inspire you as well, like to want to do more, to do something else, to try different things. I think you were very comfortable in your career that you were doing, and you have tried different positions and jobs, and you've left and come back and are always considering different options. And I don't think 32-year-old Jeff would have been that way.
Right.
I think you were just very comfortable going to work, coming home, going to work, playing video games or watching whatever, and that was enough for you at that time.
Yeah.
And I'll say my single life was enough for me. I think I had become very resolved at being single.
Yeah.
I was very much of the mindset like there's no one out there that will put up with me.
Yeah.
Or that wants to be a part of this insanity that I am until I found you. So I think that's what someone would say about either one of us.
Yeah.
What would you say?
So for me, something that I would need in a partner, and something that I've always known that I need in a partner, because up until I met you, I had never really gotten it before, is to be with someone that is not afraid to, this is going to sound weird maybe, but like someone who's not afraid to like love me, someone who's not afraid to tell me that they love me, someone who is affectionate, someone who is I can't really, that's about as best as I can do to like to articulate it, but it's just I'm a very, and I will readily admit this, anytime someone asks, I am a very, when it comes to certain things, I'm a very needy person. Yes. And I would say, wow, that was a quick yes.
No, it wasn't. You just said
I'm just joking. That was a quick agreement. I'm just messing with you. Because I know I'm like this. I am a very needy person when it comes to, I need to be told that I'm loved. Like I need to be told that, I need to be with someone that's going to not only accept my love, but like love me in that way too. And because I always feel like I love big and I wear my heart on my sleeve. I am not afraid to tell you how I feel about you. I'm not afraid to tell you that I love you. I'm not afraid to tell you all the reasons why I love you, whether we're in front of people or it's just us, or if I'm having a bad day or if I'm having a good day. It does not matter. I just always want to let you know that I love you, but I need that in return, and that's not what I would get until I met you. And that's kind of what one of the first kind of signs of like, oh, this is my person. Like,
and that's pretty crazy because I think I've told you, maybe not so much on the pod, I did not come from a family that said I love you a lot. I knew my parents, I know my brother and my sister love me, but it was nothing that we ever said out loud a lot. And I remember the first times you said I love you, not that I didn't know that I loved you, but I was like, am I supposed to respond to that? Yeah. Like, do I say it back? Like, I will be really honest. It was just, I've never been one of those on the phone that say, when I talk to my sister, I'm like, all right, bye. That's, okay, I gotta go, or
Anna is a rush you off the phone person.
Yes. So that is definitely something you brought out in me. Like, I'm not afraid to show you I love you either. But I had never done that really with anyone.
And I think for someone that what you need, and you're gonna understand what I'm saying, and I will elaborate on it because it's gonna sound probably mean when I first say it. It's not, but like you're gonna know what I mean.
Okay.
I think you need someone that is very patient. Because you are a very, I will say there are certain things that you are very like rational and grounded and mature. You are one of the most like rational people I've ever met. But there are certain things where you are very impulsive and you are very, when it comes to when we are planning a vacation, I have to be very patient with you because you love to change plans and you love to change things at the last minute. It's not just with vacations, it's just with stuff in general. I think that you need someone who is very, I'm describing myself, I think you need someone that is very adaptable and someone who is very much like kind of go with the flow because I think you like to be in control, and I think you like to plan things. You like to be the planner. I know you like to, and of course I have a voice, everybody. Like I have input. We discuss things when we talk about going to Europe, when we talk about going on a cruise, we discuss things, but for a lot of it, you like to be in control, and you like to, and I know to me that doesn't sound bad. To me that just means that you just like knowing what we're doing, and you like to plan things. And I think that you just need someone who's just like, okay, like, and you are changing plans a lot. I'm like, you know what? I'm with you, so I don't care, and that's my mentality. And I hope that didn't sound bad. I don't think it does.
I definitely, because I know I drive you nuts. I mean, I will say, even as much as we were watching The Amazing Race, and I think it both started in our head of like, those places look fun. I wonder if we should think about going there.
We're going there. Yeah.
So we both changed.
Yeah.
But I definitely know, like, it's as little as something like a restaurant. Like if we're going to the Sanger and I'll be like, well, let's go to Five Happiness. And then on the way, I'm like, well, could we go to like La Cocinita?
You're never gonna hear a no from me. Yeah.
Right. And I usually, I mean, I'm not like going to ask you to go to some like rando place we've never been to, but sometimes we'll mix it up, or will whatever. But you definitely practice a lot of patience with my kookiness of changing plans, making plans, wanting to try a new plan. Yeah.
And I also think that you need someone who is very self-sufficient and very kind of independent in the way that you travel a lot. You and I know that you've had issues with relationships in the past when you would meet someone and you'd be dating this guy for like a short period of time. And they're like, I don't like that you travel for your job. And you're like, motherfucker, I've been doing this for 20 years. Like, you're going to tell me like I can't like do my job? Like, go yourself.
I'm doing this because I want to.
I think you just need someone who's very secure with themselves and isn't like, isn't as much as we love being with each other and as much as the moment we're apart, we're I miss you, like we do that and we are one of those couples, but at the same time we do that because we love each other, not because we're like that codependent on each other. I feel like when you go out of town and I'm like, I miss you a lot, but I'm gonna be okay. It's just I'm gonna work, I'm gonna hang out at home. I am a very like I can entertain myself. I don't need
go pick up Max in an emergency or
at midnight. My little tootie. Yeah, but I think that's ultimately, and it just popped in my head while we were talking, because like kind of patience is a little bit in there too, with like you have to sometimes do last minute traveling for your job. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes we have to cancel our plans because you have a class at the last minute that just got rescheduled. And I mean, that happened not that long ago. So I mean, it's...
Or even just like today, I had 3 hours of calls and you went into the bedroom. Not that that's like a horrible thing, but I mean, my office space is our front dining room. And sometimes on the calls I can be on mute or off camera. And so you'll stay in here and just goof off on your phone. But sometimes I have to talk and be on camera and on mic. But that has to be understanding as well. Because, I mean, it's hard when you have one partner that works from home and one doesn't.
Right.
And so those are things that you kind of have to mesh as a couple, as partners.
When we watch Are You the One, I'm just like, these people are in such different places in their lives. They're in their 20s. Like, how much are you really looking for happily ever after when you're 24? You know what I mean? Like, especially now.
Or even know who you totally are. And not that anyone who has gotten married to their high school sweetheart or to their college sweetheart. I still have friends that have been married since they were in their 20s,
Same.
21. So it's not on that. But it's definitely like, I mean, we watch some of these shows and I'm like, I don't even know who I was when I was 21 or 22. Yeah. I just was still trying to figure out myself, much less who I thought I would have been with for the rest of my life. In fact, I look back on those times, particularly for me, that I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I had had my way, I could have ended up with this guy and he's like a total asshole now. Like, oh my God, so I think that's important too. And the other thing is that I also think is really important about finding someone that's right for you is that they're not there to fix you.
Yes.
They're there to compliment you and to support you and to be your biggest cheerleader.
All right, we're going to get into this plot summary because once again, I didn't know if we were going to have a lot to talk about. So I love it when we don't go over some questions in an episode because that means we just have future questions for future episodes. There's a little bit to talk about, but also this is technically, even though this is happening, this episode's being released at the beginning of November, we still have to go over what our theme for November is and what there are some really cool full circle moments that we're going to have for the month of November. I keep saying next month. We're in next month, so this month. But yeah, first we're going to go over the plot summary. There's a little bit more extensive explanations than I realized was going to happen. So we're going to get into this plot summary, and then, because we have a little bit like there's a little bit of like a format change in this season. This was the first time that they had the blackout rule, so we're gonna have to talk about that.
The money.
Yeah. And then kind of talk about the strategy of using the blackout as strategy, and then we're going to talk about what you're going to expect from us in November, which is this month. I keep wanting to say next month, this month. Okay. All right, Are You the One plot summary. Welcome to Season 3 of Are You the One in beautiful Kona, Hawaii. I still have never been to Hawaii, and I would love to go someday.
Let's go.
All right, let's go right now. Host Ryan Devlin welcomes 20 singles who are in search of their perfect match. Ryan tells them that they have everything going for them except in the love department. They are all one big relationship fail. Ryan was the best host.
I loved him.
He was so good at subtly burning everyone in the cast. And then there's the infamous Amanda at the matching ceremony where he was like told Amanda to watch herself. Oh, so good. Anyway, we are shown a montage of the cast audition tapes, which includes Rashida from Columbia, South Carolina, another cast member I wish would have done more reality TV, but when you have 20 cast members, you just kind of, it's luck of the draw of who ends up getting a reality TV career and who doesn't. Rashida from Columbia, South Carolina says she either falls for a hot guy who ends up being a douchebag or an average guy who's insecure. The struggle is real, she says. Zach from Ontario says he's dated a ton of girls and thinks they all suck, but he knows they'd say the same about him. Kiki, another one I wish would have been on more reality TV because she was gold.
Yeah, she was great.
Kiki from Ashburn, Virginia, shows a gift from an ex, a teddy bear with his voice recorded on it saying he loves her. She confirms that this relationship is dead. And Devin, the infamous Devin from The Challenge.
Love him.
From Northampton, Massachusetts, shows us a bar where an ex of his and her mother threw a drink in his face. We are now back to the island, no more audition tapes. Cheyenne from Los Angeles tells the cameras that she always goes for the bad boys, and for some reason, she is turned on by that type. So Cheyenne did the challenge, but then she went on to be on Teen Mom, which was super random because she was not a teen mom. She just became a young mother.
Yeah.
But anyway, Ryan explains to the cast that they went through an extensive matchmaking process, which included psychologists, a team of matchmakers. They interviewed their friends, family, and even their exes. Ryan assures them that their perfect match is standing across from them, and it is up to them to figure it out. Ryan asked the classic "Are you the one?" question: if your perfect match was standing right in front of you, would you know it? Ryan goes over the rules and the format of the show, so this is going to be a summarized version of what Anna explained earlier.
Yeah.
They have 10 opportunities to find their perfect match, and if they are successful, they will win a collective of $1 million or $50,000 each. This season, however, there is a new twist. So this is season 3, and they introduce, so Ryan reminds them that they are looking for money. Ryan reminds them they are looking for love, and the money should come second, and they are trying to prevent the cast from using strategy or process of elimination in order to find their matches.
Yeah.
So now, at the matchup ceremonies, if there is a blackout, which means there are no perfect matches and 0 beams light up, $250,000 will be taken out of the prize money. So season 2, the season before this, the cast figured out that a blackout, like I said earlier, is essentially like 10 truth booths in one sitting.
Right.
So it actually is smarter strategically to have a blackout because that gives you more information than anything. Like, if you can send a couple into the truth booth and they're a confirmed match, that's one confirmed match. If you, at the very least, have a blackout, you have 10 unconfirmed matches. Okay, well, you sitting next to me, you are definitely not my match, so I can cross you off the list.
Right.
So in season 2, they had like 3 blackouts. And by these...
There was no penalty
There was no penalty at this point. So by this point, they figured out, basically by like week 7, they had like 2/3 of the cast confirmed matches. They had like figured it out. They were just trying to figure out the remainder, and then they got one more blackout, and they were like, oh, we got it. We figured it out. We could do we could do it now if we wanted to, but they had to wait another week. So then the producers were probably like, okay, as good as this is, we have to make them not do blackouts because that's probably not the best, most entertaining TV. I thought it was entertaining and I thought it was really smart, but I also appreciate the process of elimination and the statistics.
But just like everything, when there's a rule, it's because they've broken a rule in another way. Because like on the show, we'll talk about this, I think, in this season, that they're not allowed writing utensils, paper, so they can't write anything down to keep records of anything. So that comes into play later as well.
Yeah, so we're probably not going to talk about it in this episode because it's the first episode, but
we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Okay, so the cast goes to their new house and start getting to know each other. Connor from Illinois, who's like, this dude is like 6'8", from Illinois, says that all the girls are 10s and it's unfair. Mike from Chicago, who later showed up on Real World, one of the newer Real World seasons, Mike from Chicago confesses he was a male stripper before finding his day job. The girls want to see his moves, so of course, one of the many times Mike does a lap dance for someone on the season. Rashida is used to dating hot guys, but they were all assholes. She's been cheated on by 3 different guys and was dumped on Valentine's Day twice, I believe she said. Alec from Philadelphia was overweight most of his life. He lost a bunch of weight, but still has trouble with girls. Rashida and Alex end up making out. Stacy from Staten Island was attracted to Alec, but was a little turned off by him making out with Rashida within the first few hours of meeting. I'm giving that some grace. I think we're less than a few hours. I think we're maybe like an hour into meeting.
And that's what I feel like about this show was like, it was like they walked into the house and they were like, they're hot. Let's go to the boom boom room. You know, like,
I think the joke on AfterBuzz TV, they would be like, your favorite ice cream flavor is cookies and cream. My favorite ice cream flavor is cookies and cream. You're my perfect match. Like they would base it on like the dumbest stuff.
Right. Like they'd never even talked.
Right. Chuck from Hawaii and Hannah from Syracuse, New York, hit it off. They both look like surfer beach babes, so it obviously, but I also argue that a lot of the girls on this season had that surfer, even if they weren't from California or the West Coast or from Hawaii, they looked like you had Hannah, you had Kiki, you had Brittany, you had all of these people, all these girls that kind of looked like that type, so I always have been curious as to, okay, so let's just say it's by a percentage. Let's say if it's 90% or higher, then that's your perfect match. I've always wondered if, like, okay, let's say Hannah is Chuck's perfect match. She's not, so I can use this as an example. Hannah is Chuck's perfect match. Well, they have a 92% match rate, making them a perfect match. Let's say Chuck and Brittany are like an 80% match. They're still going to have this like attraction to each other, and they're still technically going to work out as a couple, but they are just not the perfect match for the show. I think that was another thing that always kind of confused me, because I was always just like, well, what if this person is also your perfect match? This other person just has a higher percentage of what your perfect match is. I don't know. I've always wondered that. I feel like there were so many people on the show that were so similar in personality that I was like, I wonder if they do that on purpose to try and throw you off. Like,
well, yeah.
Be like I said, let's say Hannah's like 92%, Brittany is 85%, Kiki is 80%, and then Melanie is like 72%. Technically, those are all high percentage rates for a perfect match, but you want to go for Hannah because she's your 95% match. Like, but technically, these 3 other girls could also be your perfect match. It's just not as high up. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, I have always wondered if that's how they kind of throw you off, because on paper, it seems like so many of these people are perfect matches, and then when you find out they're not, it's even a surprise to a viewer. You're like, oh, they've really been hitting it. They're not a perfect match. Like, it would always be very
again,
surprising.
And we're seeing 40 minutes of the show.
Exactly.
You know, we have no idea what all happened.
You see a 42-minute episode of a week's worth of content.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've just always wondered that. I've always just been curious.
I mean, they're all beautiful. The guys are all handsome, good-looking, built. I mean, for the most part, the girls are all gorgeous and stacked and whatever, perfect-looking. And so you're just like, that was what I couldn't get was, or I was kind of like mesmerized by, was the first episode. They're like, all like, we're the perfect match. And I'm like, you haven't even talked to this person.
Getting jealous when they're talking to someone else.
Exactly.
I'm like, you've known each other for 2 hours. Yes. We're going to get into that in a second. All right, so Chuck and Hannah hit it off. They both want to travel the world and both have a live in the present attitude. Hannah realizes that Chuck probably isn't her perfect match because they are so much alike, which I get that.
Yeah.
Stacy and Alec are getting close. Once again, Alec was making out with Rashida and then an hour later getting close with someone else. And Rashida isn't happy about it. Devin and Kiki hit it off, and here we go with one of the big season-long relationships. Devin and Kiki, the saga. I wish they would have gotten paired up on Final Reckoning. I wish that would have happened. It didn't happen, but yeah. They both meditate, do yoga and Tai Chi. Amanda from Colorado and Mike immediately hit it off, which is another season-long relationship that goes on this season that they are just so clearly wrong for each other, but insist on continuing their relationship. Another ongoing theme for every season of Are You the One? You have your couples that clearly aren't terrible for each other, but continue seeing each other, even though they're still looking for their perfect match. The cast decides to play Spin the Bottle, which always leads to trouble. Everyone is kissing everyone. Alex makes out with Hannah right in front of Stacy. She is already jealous, and Alec and Stacy are already fighting. First night, we already got drama, but it has to happen on Are You the One? They're hot, they're drunk, they're horny, they're in love. It's all of these emotions mixed in one. The next day arrives, and we have our first daily competition, which they don't have an official term for that on Are You the One, so I just say daily competition.
Yeah.
They don't have comps or dailies like they do on other stuff. The cast will compete. The winners will pick someone to go on a date with. Of those couples, the rest of the cast will vote for one couple to go into the truth booth. The only way to get a confirmed perfect match is through the truth booth. Today's challenge is called Worst Face Forward. Ryan has all the cast pictures from their childhood, and the other cast members have to guess who it is. This was really cute.
It was.
Most correct answers wins. It's really funny on, like, Cheyenne looked exactly the same, Amanda looked exactly the same, and I forgot which cast member it was. I think it was maybe Kiki, where she was not an attractive baby, and the guys were like, what the hell? Yeah. Of the guys, Mike and Hunter win and get to choose a girl to go on a date with. Hunter. Of the girls, Melanie and Cheyenne win. Melanie chooses Devin. Kiki isn't happy about that. Cheyenne chooses Chuck. Mike chooses Hannah. Amanda isn't happy about that. And Hunter chooses Kiki. Their getaway date is swimming with the dolphins, which is very cute. It's really funny because, like, they would have these dates that were like swimming with the dolphins. We're gonna go on a tour of the town, and then there would be the one dates where it's like, y'all are gonna go eat ice cream.
I swear to God, I was about to say they're going to go eat ice cream,
and it's like, okay, they ran out of money. That house rental is probably very expensive.
Yeah,
and they have to pay for the lighting for all those beams. With the
electric bill is out of control.
What the hell is that?
I have no idea.
We're haunted.
Don't say that.
Okay, while the couples are on their date, the majority of the house is voting for Hunter and Kiki. The logic is they are both in love with love and wear their heart on their sleeve. So it makes sense that they would be a match because they are looking for the same thing.
Exactly.
So
that's so stupid.
Right. Well, I mean, like, you know, the first week I understand the mentality of like, okay, Chuck and Cheyenne, probably not a perfect match. You know, it's just like they're very different people. We'll talk about that in a second. They go swim with the dolphins. Chuck is a licensed he's a diving instructor. He lives in Hawaii. He's a surfer. He loves the water. Cheyenne gets seasick on a boat. So it's just like on a simple boat during the day. So in his mind, he's like, yeah, this girl isn't my perfect match because I'm a water person. She's not. Even though that sounds dumb, like, that's his career. So, I mean, like, it's a little different. Hunter and Kiki actually kind of make sense as a couple, but yeah, it was just too easy. So back to the date. After swimming with the dolphins, each couple goes off and gets to know each other a little better. Melanie tells Devin that she is a serial dater. She's barely been single since she was a teenager and promises that she's never cheated. Devin confesses that he's been in four serious relationships and has cheated on all of them. Yeah, Melanie isn't into it. She's just like, I think she was like, you were up here and now you're down here.
Bye.
Hunter and Kiki seem to want the same thing, but they both seem to be people pleasers and just agree with the other person. It very much seems like they are both yes people. Like, they're like, oh, you like that? I like that, because they want to find their match. They want to be in love. And so they're just agreeing with each other, even though that might be not what they want. Kiki is confused because she seems to be a perfect match with Hunter, but has feelings for Devin. Later that day, the couples return to the house. Ryan comes to the house to reveal who the house voted for to go into the truth booth. The house is voted for Hunter and Kiki. So what kind of seemed like a maybe Kiki has feelings for Hunter very quickly turns into Kiki kind of being mad that she was sent into the truth booth.
Oh yeah. Because she didn't want it to be true.
So that's the other thing that ends up happening on Are You the One? It's like people don't want to go into the truth booth because they don't want their confirmed match revealed because they want to stay in the house.
Yeah.
They don't want to go off in the honeymoon
suite.
To
the honeymoon suite.
And they stop being filmed. I think that's the other thing. I don't necessarily think it's like I want to be famous, but it's definitely like if Kiki is a perfect match with Hunter, then they're going to go off to the honeymoon suite and she can't see Devin anymore. So the two go into the truth booth, and after a little dramatic pause, they aren't a match. Later that night, I've always wanted a week one truth booth match, and it never happened. But I always wanted it to happen. Later that night, we go to the matchup ceremony. Each week, either the guys or the girls will pick someone who will sit next to them during the matchup ceremony. Once everyone is paired up, 10 spotlights or beams will appear. Each time a beam lights up, that represents a perfect match. This week, the girls choose first. These are the matchups. Hannah chooses Chuck. Rashida chooses Tyler Boogie. Amanda starts a fight with Kiki over being fake, and then chooses Mike. Melanie chooses Devin. Nelson calls out Devin for saying he's going to smash both Melanie and Kiki. And by smash, I mean have sex with. Chelsea chooses Connor. Hint, I think they're the perfect match. Kiki chooses Austin. Stacy chooses Alec. They argue the entire time. That's what they do this entire time. Brittany chooses Hunter, who I forgot Brittany was here. I love Brittany, but it's just like I forgot she was on the season. Yeah. And then Cheyenne chooses Nelson. And then Kayla and Zach are the last ones, so they are paired up together by default. But I believe they are also a perfect match.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I believe so. I know Connor and Chelsea are because they get confirmed later on. Spoiler alert, I guess. Everyone is paired up. Ryan reminds them that one beam represents one perfect match, but they'll never know which one is which unless all 10 beams light up. After some dramatic pauses and a commercial break, which they love to do in Are You the One, only 2 beams light up. Only 2 perfect matches. Ryan tells them to get to know each other, follow their hearts, and figure out what they need and not what they want. End of episode.
End of episode. So one of the things I had mentioned was the fact that they're not allowed to write anything down. They don't have writing utensils, so they can't keep any sort of technical track of what has happened throughout each episode
through or matchup ceremony.
Through the matchup ceremony, through the truth. I mean, I guess in their heads they can, but
yeah.
You start to kind of get lost in it because it's a lot of math and mixing up and couples and dates and whatnot to keep track of. Well, Devin came up with the cups,
which ended up becoming kind of a staple.
Yes.
In Are You the One?
And so he had gotten a bunch of cups, I guess, from the kitchen and sort of made each cup represent someone. I don't know how
it was each matchup ceremony. He would do the cups and they would represent the couple, and whoever was a confirmed non-match, he would remove those cups. He'd be like, okay, so now these cups represent this person. They didn't go into the full of how he figured this out. I think they were really trying to make it seem like Devin was an idiot and he wasn't figuring this out, but he figured it out. I mean,
he did.
It took him 2 weeks, but he figured it out because up until then, Alec was they all thought Alec was like the smart one who was figuring everything out, and they very quickly realized that Alec did not know what he was doing. And so Devin was like, I got this. Like, let me try and figure this out.
I mean, Devin's a little mastermind.
I mean, and he's also like extremely intelligent. I mean, on the challenge, his forte was puzzles and memorization and math puzzles. Like, he's just not the physically not the greatest, but when it comes to mental stuff, Devin has that on lock. So, I mean, like, in my opinion, one of the smartest people to ever be on the challenge. But yeah, this season is so good. I loved it. I love this season so much. But I believe on Paramount Plus, they have season 8, which is the gender fluid cast. That is also a bomb season. Like, that is great. Such a fun.
I loved it because it really diversified the house.
Because before, so they had 16 gender fluid people that were cast on season 8, and it was no longer 8 possibilities, because technically 8 possibilities. There were 16 possible matches, because I mean, like, anyone could be anyone's match. It was no longer men and women. It was anyone could be anyone's match. And they still somehow figured it out in 10 tries.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I don't even think they got a blackout. Like, I think they did really, I think that was like one of the like most successful seasons where they like did not mess up. But yeah, that season's so great. But season 3 is my favorite just because it never got boring. It was so full of drama the entire time. The Mike and Amanda fight is pretty infamous if you're in the reality TV zeitgeist. The Devin Kiki saga, the Chuck Brittany Hannah saga, like it was just a cluster of a season, and we were here for it. I was here for it. We were both here for it. And when we were rewatching the first episode, I really wanted to keep watching, but I was like, we got stuff to do. So I was like, we got stuff to do. I just wanted to rewatch it so I could type out the plot summary, because with reality TV, it's hard to find plot summaries because that's not how reality TV works. Right. You kind of just have to go with your memory or write it yourself, which is what I had to do with all these episodes, which is what I normally do. But like I usually have like a foundation to go from. Okay, so that's Are You the One? We were worried we weren't going to have a lot to talk about, and here we are, over an hour into it. All right, so we're at the end of the month, even though we're in November.
Yes.
So we came up with this idea a while ago. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if you remember where it came from, if there was a specific reason. Because usually, a lot of times, it's like, oh, this month, something having to do with this month. I don't think it has anything to do specifically with this month. It was just an idea that we had. Because we kind of started getting into, like, the month of colors in the title, or months with, something in the title. So this month we are doing TV shows with first names in the title. Yeah. Not just names, first names. And we have 2 full circle moments. We have a TV show that we are doing that is we have completed their TV history. It's the same actor we've done for 2 previous shows. This third show, it's like I'll give you a little hint. She was in one show, then immediately went to another successful show, then jumped on another successful show. She had a great run.
Like 20 years on TV.
Right. And just long-term show after long-term show. And then we have an unintentional trilogy, I guess you could call it, completion. With we had the original show, the reboot, and then now we're going to be doing the prequel to those shows. Yeah. I don't know how canon this show is going to be. I don't know if in that universe or if it's just kind of stands by itself. Maybe we'll get into that. Yeah. And then the other 2 are just shows that we kind of just picked. So TV shows we have a sitcom, we have a drama, we have a horror, we have a dark comedy, we have a coming of age. Like, we kind of are doing a little bit of everything this month. And I'm really excited. We got some great shows, and then I'm really, really excited for December, but we'll get into that. In
a couple of weeks.
So for now, I think that wraps up this episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning. Oh, what are you going to say?
I was going to say thank you for being my one.
Thank you for being my one. Thank you for being my perfect match.
You're my beam.
We used to say that to each other all the time.
I still say it every now and then.
You still say it, but like we used to say it all the time.
All the time.
All right, thanks for tuning in. And if you haven't already, go ahead and follow us on whichever platform you listen to this podcast on. That way you'll be notified every time we publish a new episode. You can also follow us on Instagram at WeJudgePilotPod. We're also on Facebook. You can leave us a comment, suggest a show for us to watch, or leave some emojis in the comments. What you got?
All right, so for Are You the One? I have in here the abacus for all the math.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
The heart emoji, the kiss emoji, the island for Hawaii. Mm-hmm. The cups for Devin, that comes later, but I still have it because it's pretty epic. The bag of money for the $1 million, all the couple emojis, the chart and graphing, again, to represent them thinking about who their match is. The fleur-de-lis, because one of the seasons took place in New Orleans, so represent. The teddy bear, the Canadian flag, and finally the flashlight for the light beams come up. All right, well, we are going to head out, but we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.